Have you ever loved someone so much you ignored all their red flags? Well, this is the film for you. It's called Wedding Cake, and it's about newlywed cake toppers whose marriage quickly goes downhill when they realize that the perfect life they envisioned is going to be a lot harder to achieve than they realized. When a baker puts the finishing touches on a wedding cake, the cake toppers come to life and celebrate as newlyweds. And yes, the groom accidentally spills wine on his bride's dress. Nothing is going to ruin the best day of their lives. It's why they move in together and begin turning their house into a home. And when that's done, the groom is ready to start a family. Except the bride's not really up for that. So they compromise and get a puppy instead. And everything's fine at first, but eventually their cracks start to show. His selfishness and her inability to communicate make them realize that this marriage thing is going to be a lot harder than they thought. Eventually, he becomes more interested in the TV than he is with her, leaving her to do everything around the house by herself. Frustrated, she breaks the TV, and when that doesn't work, she cries and she remembers that red stain on her chest that still won't come off. That's when he comes over to comfort her. He covers the red stain, but in doing so, he realizes that there's another chest enhancement he'd like her to have. Outraged, she pokes at his insecurities as well. In the end, they destroy each other, and in doing so, they destroy the cake the real couple was going to have at their wedding. And when the real groom accidentally spills wine on his bride's dress, it's clear history is doomed to repeat itself. And yeah, the real couple is happy now, but they have no clue what awaits them in the future. This film is about communication. It's about understanding what you're getting into before making commitments. This couple clearly didn't discuss anything before they got married, and they had to find out how incompatible they were when it was already too late. The red wine stain on the bride's dress was almost like an omen for the relationship. The stain represented an issue, a pressing problem, one that they chose to ignore because they thought that maybe if they did, it wouldn't bother them. But in the end, the bride always returned to that stain because they both know that avoiding the stain, avoiding the problem, wasn't actually solving the problem. Eventually, this issue snowballed, leading to the destruction of themselves and their relationship. And I guess that's what this film is trying to tell us, that red flags shouldn't be ignored. They should be addressed from the very beginning because no matter how hard you may try to avoid or ignore something that's weighing heavily on your chest, the problem isn't going to go away unless you tackle it head on.